Start.
Hi, welcome to Indian Express. We have joined here for the launch of Nidhi Sharma's book Invictus, and Siddharth Roy Kapoor will be launching it for us. But before we go to that part, we have Mr. Rajdeep Mukherjee, MD of Macmillan India. So would you like to talk on the book a bit?
Sure. I just wanted to welcome everyone. Good afternoon. On behalf of Pan Macmillan, I'd like to welcome you all to this exclusive launch of Invictus by Nidhi Sharma, which incidentally has hit the best-selling charts on Amazon on the day of the launch. Congratulations, Nidhi. I'd also like to take this opportunity to thank Siddharth for agreeing to launch this book. And also Ishita, thank you very much. And Indian Express for providing the platform to launch Invictus. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, sir. So Siddharth, will you be launching the book for us now?
Yes, absolutely. There you go.
Sorry.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, Nidhi.
Congratulations, Nidhi.
Thank you so much. I'm also holding a copy.
I have just read the soft copy, but yeah, I'm holding it in spirit.
Thank you so much, Siddharth. Thank you, Rajdeep.
Right, so I just wanted to have a quick chat with you and Siddharth about the book. So Nidhi, what struck me was that there are like these 6 kids who go missing, as you say, the army brats who go missing, at like the Indo-China border, and this makes for a fascinating story. But how as an author did you build on it when you just have words at your disposal and no images as such?
Okay, thank God for words. Here's what I'll say. It was a picnic gone wrong. Okay, that's the first thing. And you are right, absolutely right. Writing a memoir is particularly challenging, and it's challenging because you've lived through that experience, but how do you make it a compelling read for those who are going to read your book? How are you going to draw them in? And this experience in the jungles and the mountains of Arunachal in Tawang was so overpowering for me. And I have such vivid memories of that day. And of course, I have a childhood habit of keeping journals. And so that helps. And, so I think some things happened pretty organically in the writing of it. Having said which, I will tell you that I know from, my first book that my style of writing is very visual. It has been visual. And I did pay very keen attention to pace and rhythm and meter in terms of just how I was going to structure the narrative. Pace and rhythm was extremely important. The way the chapters end was extremely important because I kind of left you guys on a cliffhanger of sorts. What's going to happen next? So that the reader is compelled to turn the page. I do have a mixed background in film and literature, and what that does is that it gives you a visual language, whether you're in prose or you're in film. And at some point in this misadventure, when the place that we were supposed to go to felt like Godot. So I've compared it to Vladimir and Estragon's Search for Godot from Samuel Beckett's classic. Waiting for Godot, because it was nowhere in sight. Was that place our Godot? Or the jungle, for example? I've compared it to Loki. I've called it a lot of things in the book, but I've compared it to Loki, the Norse god of mischief, the guy who was out to trick us and kill us. So those are a few things. And I think in hindsight, I realized that I also use the stream of consciousness technique of telling the story. So there are interconnected events and anecdotes from before and after that experience that are woven into the telling of the story. For example, there was a dog that was part of that journey for a little while. And when you meet that dog, you also get to meet my other dogs who were there in my life before and after. And it's sort of interconnected. And in that sense, it's a memoir as well, because you're seeing a lot more than that day. I suppose, in my view, memoirs reflect the personality of the writer. And so if you find humor in it, it's because that's who I am as well. You will find a little bit of that in that sense. While Invictus is my second book, I will tell you that this is the book that has truly allowed me to explore my voice as an author. And I have really enjoyed writing it. And I hope I've answered your question.
Yes, you have. You have actually answered the other question I was about to ask you. That how it also
Sorry.
doubles up as a memoir. No, perfectly fine. So as you rightly pointed out that the narrative goes back and forth, and you're constantly you're comparing your past experience with the present, which also opens up a very strange way of you looking at the jungle, like the ultimate antagonist who actually taught you something, with the pandemic which we are living now. It's a strange comparison, but I felt it was just there. Do you see it like that? That, it's a crisis we will probably learn from?
Okay. So firstly, I'll tell you about the jungle. Okay, so this, and then I'll tell you why, where it's connected to the pandemic, and how the pandemic is also different. That adversity is slightly different. Okay, so this jungle, and I will tell you something that I've written in the book is the first chapter. And I've said that the jungle was alive, and, it thrust your phobias in your face. It was a living, throbbing entity with its own rules of engagement. And those rules were fairly simple, that you did not try to engage with it, that you had to let it own you, okay? And the jungle had ears and eyes, and this is true. And it found your fears, it smells your fears. It found your fears faster than you found your strength. And that word in the jungle travels fast, and especially if waters crisscross through its heart. So you are right, I have a special relationship with that jungle. There is a dialogue in the book between the jungle and I, but look, the jungle is it's presented as this massive antagonist in the book, that it's out to trick us, it's out to kill us. And I called it Loki, I called it the magnificent Venus flytrap, because that terrain is so stunningly beautiful, Ishita, but you don't realize how dangerous it is for 6 children, I think even for older people, but for a 13-year-old all the way down to 6. So there is a duel between the jungle and I. And in the beginning, you kind of realize that, hey, hang on, the jungle is the villain of this piece, okay? But by the time you end the book, and the jungle has said, I want to teach you a lesson, you reckless 13-year-old kid who thought you could walk in and you thought you can walk out, So when the book ends, you kind of realize, hang on, the jungle is not the villain of this piece. The jungle is actually the protagonist. And maybe this 13-year-old kid is the kid who needed to learn a lesson of her life. So she's the villain of the piece. So I have this love for the wild, which is there in the book. Now coming to pandemic, and it's a very relevant question. We're all living through it. I think our lives will never go back to what they were. It is what it is. Okay, I think that's the first thing that the jungle teaches you. Control the controllables. Okay, do what you can. But the approach is different. For example, to get out of a jungle alive, you need to abandon fear. And I think you need to, you can't give up. Okay, it is a very visceral, it's a duel when you get out. It's a battle of wits. It's a battle of nerves. It is a battle of, it's so many things. You need to be resilient. You need to be emotionally tough. Yes, in the pandemic, we have learned that you need to be emotionally tough to get through it. We're hearing massive cases of mental health issues that are happening in this time, because we are all something none of us have faced before. That being said, I think the approach to the pandemic is slightly different. You got to slow down. You need to accept science. You need to vaccinate. Okay. And you need to err on the side of caution.
Right.
With the jungle, it's different. You have to go, you have to be alive, you're out, and it's out to get you. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Siddharth, at the outset, what did you like about the book as a reader?
So I heard the story actually from Nidhi, for the first time, and I was really amazed by the fact that she'd had this experience and that she was able to document it in such a compelling way. I mean, I have to admit, I haven't read the book, but I know enough about the story to be able to, to be able to speak about it. I just think that the way that she narrated it, and I've leafed through it, is pretty much the way that she's written it, which is with a sense of enthusiasm, with a sense of energy, and with a sense of place. I think that's the most important thing when you're writing something like this, to be able to draw your reader into the world that you're talking about, because like she was so eloquently describing right now, the jungle is a living, breathing thing. And if you can't understand the life-changing journey that these 6 kids went through by actually being the 7th kid with them, then you won't really get the import of the story. And I think that's what I felt when I heard it from her, in person. It was just an incredible story of fighting all the odds and sort of overcoming adversity. And those are cliches that you hear all the time, and we use them in very, in contexts which don't deserve for them to be used. But this literally was, sort of trying to save your own life and trying to save the lives of a bunch of people who you feel responsible for, and you're at the tender age of 13. So I just think it's an incredible, story. And what makes it even more incredible is that it's true.
Right. So as a storyteller yourself, as in a different form, do you see the merit of such stories to be told more?
For sure, no question about it. I think it'll give people a lot of, I mean, one is it's just a great story to tell. So the pure entertainment value of it is immense. And when I say entertainment, I don't mean to be frivolous, but it is entertaining, right? You've got it's a great adventure. You know that people are going to come out okay at the end of it, so it's not going to be a tragedy. But at the same time, at every step of the way, you're wondering what new sort of obstacle is going to sort of be in their way. And at the end of it, if one had to take a message away, it's a story of resilience and really, working against all the odds to be able to fight through sort of experiences that you never thought you'd have to encounter. So, those are the kind of stories that are worth telling, I think.
Right. Nidhi, I just, we saw the trailer, and you were telling me before how you shot it during pandemic. So I really want you to elaborate, because it's really something.
Okay, this is fun. So yes, so I'll tell you that, and I think that's where my training in English lit and film kind of came together, and I'll tell you why. So essentially, the first thing, of course, for me as a storyteller was to ensure that the reader and the audience can see and feel what I felt, and what I went through in that place where I took moral responsibility for all my goofs that day. So the most important thing was I wanted to put the theme out. So the first thing I did was I wrote you're compressing almost a 300-page book into 1 minute of, cinematic telling of what that book is about. And why should anyone be interested? So the first thing I did was, of course, write the theme out, that it was about the choices that you make, and those choices make you, and those choices can be wrong. And what happens if your choices can kill someone else, So thematically, that was the theme that I did. And then, of course, there was the plot of what happened in that one day. So there was that plot. Now, the plan was, of course, to go to Tawang and shoot the trailer. That would have been beautiful. I would have loved to do it. And of course, we had the second wave, the fierce second wave that came in, and all plans were canned. So at that point, the only option that were left to me was essentially that, I went online. I went online and I found the exact precise shots that I needed, whether it was the size of the shot that was correct, whether it was a close-up, it was a long angle, all shots that authentically recreated that terrain, and also recreated, our experiences. I put those shots together, and of course I had, my post team was with me, and the first cut was 2 minutes long. But the next cut, and all of this was done remotely, live on Zoom calls. We were editing live, right, on this. And finally, we had a 75 second cut. But this is one part of it. Everybody does it, and that is cool. You have to, you have the advantage of being able to tell it visually. The part that I wasn't prepared for was the fact that for the first time I had to be in the trailer. And I cannot tell you how difficult that was. My complex became a mini containment zone. We were sealed. We had found a place where we needed to shoot this bit. There was a team. Everyone's supposed to do their job. Someone's supposed to record the sound. Someone's ensure the lighting's right. And I suddenly realized I am doing all of those things and also watching, am I narrating it correctly, the way I feel? Can I do it? And it was the bumbling of sorts, and honestly, it took me back to my film school days where you're the sound recordist, you're the cameraman, you're the light man, you know your shots, you need to remember your lines, all of that. It was a great experience, I'll tell you. It was phenomenal. I think I'll always remember it, whatever else I do post this. But, the trailer, essentially, I think it's been well received. People have got the tone and mood of what that day was like. So, and it's all right if nothing went as per plan, because I think nothing goes as per plan, essentially. So I think it's all right. All's well that ends well. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the jungle is still teaching you in
Oh,
a
lots.
very indirect way. So, Siddharth, coming back to you. So as there are, if you look at films, there are a lot of films which have this survival as the theme. What do you think draws people to it?
One is it's just the pure thrill of the journey that an individual or a group of individuals have had to go through, and living vicariously through them, because or you hope you're never going to be in circumstances like they were in. So it's like it's just putting yourself in a situation and going along for the journey with people who are going through incredible adversity and having to overcome it. So it's very, very entertaining. I mean, these stories are very compelling. They're very entertaining. They're riveting. They draw you in, and they don't let you breathe for an instant if they're told well. Which is why I feel that stories of endurance and getting through and surviving the odds told within a limited time frame in which a person has had to encounter that, if told well, can be incredibly compelling.
Right. So Nidhi, just to finish it off, what is your present relation with the jungle? How do you look back at it?
Wow, my present relationship with this jungle is that the jungle taught me everything. The jungle humbled me. I think jungles teach you that you are very, very small in the larger scheme of things. They teach you humility. They teach you love for the wilderness. And like I've said in the book, that the jungle can break you, but when it breaks you, it makes you. And that's why the book also says Invictus, the jungle that made me. So my relationship is, I love the wilderness enough to know that it should not be disturbed, and enough to know that if you're an intruder, there's going to be pushback. And sometimes you're fortunate, sometimes it's dumb luck, sometimes it's resilience, sometimes you're just that gritty kid growing up in the armed forces, which teaches you resilience. We are all called brats, and people don't understand brat. We are born, raised, and transferred. We move every 2 years. We move into a new culture. We move between states, not even cities. And I think resilience becomes a byproduct of that. So I think the jungle teaches you everything. I think the jungle, it shows you who you are. I think, when you're faced with that moment where you could die and people because of you could die, I think it affects you for your entire life. And for me, I've held on very, very strongly to those lessons. And I love the jungle. I love Tawang. I can't say it enough. I think it'll stay with me as long as I'm alive.
Congratulations again for the book, and all the best. Thank you, Siddharth and Nidhi, for joining us.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you so much. I do want to mention that we also have Pan Macmillan has been an amazing publisher, and I want to thank Rajdeep. And they have put out a signed copy as well, which is also available on Amazon, apart from the other copies. Yeah, that's all I wanted to say. Thank you so much. Thank you, Siddharth. Thank you for being here. I'm very grateful. Thank you, Ishita.
Most welcome
Thank
and congrats, Nidhi.
Thank you so much, Siddharth. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.